was heard. He came down and he touched me, and it was spectacular, you know. What occurred next is the reason I'm publishing this now. For hours on end, between the hours of 2 o'clock in the morning to about 5 in the morning, I witnessed something within my chest speak to God. My heart, it was directly over my heart. I understand, I believe that some of the cultures in the past have understood that the soul, or the majority component of the soul, is in the heart. I witnessed my heart in my chest. There was a voice calling out to God, praising God for hours on end. As I tried to sleep, my wife next to me, her coming home. I previously didn't love my wife, but at that moment I had overwhelming love that was bleeding out of me, and it was just spectacular. As I laid there next to my wife, I couldn't tell her what was happening or taking place. I had no idea myself, you know. But as I laid there in bed, as I was praising God from my soul, with my lips and with my mind, I witnessed all three pieces of me praise God at that moment, and it just wouldn't stop. I had no understanding of what had transpired at that moment. I had to work early the very next morning. I had a 7 o'clock appointment with a client, and it was 5 in the morning, and I needed to get some sleep. I had no understanding of the glory that had taken place. And I foolishly tried to stop it. I got up multiple times, you know, squirmed around, and it wouldn't stop. It just would not stop. So I finally laid forward on my chest, and it stopped. And what I received, I guess, if I had to do it again, it'd be, I don't know if I would do it again. Stop it, because it was glory unto itself, you know, what I witnessed within my chest. But I guess in what occurred, I was given a vision or a dream between the hours of 5 to 6 in the morning, and it was very vivid. I hardly ever dream, so I've always known that my dreams have been of prophetic nature or whatever. I don't proclaim myself to be a prophet or anything like that, but you know, the Lord knows who He gives things to, and who are we to deny Him? But what I witnessed is a scenario that could not have been made up in my mind, because I had no cognitive knowledge of this, of what I saw, what I witnessed. I'll tell you what I saw, and then my later interpretation of it. I was in a vehicle, I was in a truck, I was a center passenger. There was a person driving, she happened to be my sister. There was an entity of darkness to my right, and we were in a truck, and we were speeding on a freeway, and as we were speeding, I looked to my left through the windshield, and I saw a moon. There was a full moon, and within that moon there were two crescent moons, very peculiar crescent moon that I had never witnessed before. There were specifically two moons, or a full moon and a crescent moon within it, blinking over, 1, 2, up and down. I never witnessed this moon, and as I saw it, I pointed to it, and I said, "Behold, the return of Christ is imminent. Prepare your hearts." Those are the words. I turned to the back of the vehicle, and there was 5, 8 people in the back. Those were the same words I repeated to them. As I returned back, and I was awaiting to see the return of Christ, the entity, the darkness to my right side, attempted to cover my eyes and would not allow me to see as we sped away. It was a very peculiar dream. I knew that it was not of my own initially, but I thought it, you know. No one wants to say I had a dream and it came from God. It's just too much, you know. And that happened that night, or that morning, that very morning, where I was baptized with the Spirit, which one of the reasons I knew was a special dream. It was later the following month, January, mid-February, and as I was outside, there was the first part of the revelation where I realized that that dream was definitely not of my own mind. I happened to look up, and that same moon cycle was evident. It was that moon cycle that I had witnessed, and I immediately, not so much that I got spooked, but I realized that because I had no idea or knowledge of that moon cycle, that it was special. It was of God. But my mind is one of the sorts that I need confirmation. I need more. I always need more. And I fought it for a while. I didn't tell many people about it. 5-6 months later, it was till that following November, which was in 2010. This past November 2010. Circumstances occurred where I had time to myself, and I was able to. It was in my heart to get into it deep, to find out specifics regarding this moon cycle, and see if it had any relevance, any specific timing or anything of the sort. And I know that what I've been gifted is not of my own forever. I've known that I've been gifted in my mind. I've had skills that I previously grasped on it as being of my own, and I never gave God any credit, ever. What I was able to understand is that particular moon cycle is the last moon cycle in the Jewish religious calendar, the month of Adar. And because I specifically saw 2 of those, it was very peculiar, because in leap years, there's 2 celebrations of Adar. Adar 1 and Adar 2 in leap years. And 2011 happens to be a leap year. So, as you can see, there may be some urgency with this particular message, especially at this time. And perhaps it may be a little too late. And I dwell on that. I realize that this information might have been of value for many people, but for whatever reason, I drug my feet and took forever to put this out. But for those of you guys that are subscribers to my channel, with me not having any content on it, perhaps this is why you're a subscriber. If impact could be made to one single individual to allow them to understand that the return of Christ is imminent, that the data in the spiritual realm is converging with the data in the natural world. It is undeniable. It's inconceivable, but it's undeniable that we live in times that we do not understand. It's out of the norm. Stories are flooding all over the place. I'm sure you guys surf regarding a comet/comet, Planet X, 10th planet, what have you. A lot of it could be scriptural. A lot of it is prophetic from the Hopi tribes. I don't know. But what I can tell you specifically is that the saints of the Lord, if they seek God with sincerity, they will get confirmation. If you seek and you ask, especially not seeking for your own, but for others, He will give you. He will give you what you need. And this is not the time to be convinced per se, of certain things or whatever, because that could take too long. Take the word from those people that step out on a limb. I have nothing to gain from sharing this information. In fact, more to lose than to gain in this earthly realm. People with these stories and information that I put out or can put out, you're automatically put as an insane person. And it matters not to me anymore. From the moment that I was touched with the Spirit, my life has changed dramatically. I'm not myself anymore. I've been purged of iniquity. That experience, my understanding from that particular night, that following morning, the glory of God that existed with me from that point going forward, it was visible to many people even in the days after. And I don't say that to say, well, wow, look what happened to him or whatever. This is obtainable and necessary for your successful walk with Christ. He's there. He's waiting. He's real. Something that I never conceived. Never conceived that God was there. You know, I saw many prayers, many people praying for things, and you know, it was part of my self-righteous anger. Why doesn't God answer these prayers? Why is he there? He's not there. If he's a God, what kind of God is he? But it's unfortunate that the invisible God that's there, you know, is seeking our hearts. And most of the time, you know, when we pray and we seek God, we seek him insincerely. We seek him for our own, you know, lusts, you know, our own desires. And, you know, I say to you now that this is not the time to be playing. If you're a saint and you're a prodigal son, I pray that this small piece that I can share brings conviction to your life. That the removal of the saints could be around the corner, whether it's this month or in the following months. But what I witnessed in that dream was a sign. Something spectacular is around the corner. Something of great undeniability that we exist in this time frame. For those people that, you know, the riots and, you know, inflation and later financial collapse, I don't know. I don't know what exactly the sign would be of his return. But, you know, one must be prudent. One must be watching. And most of all, we know within our spirits. You feel it. He says it. So I encourage you to take the time. Seek God now while he's available. While he's yet available. Because at some point, his spirit is not going to be available anymore to you. And that's basically it. That's my desire that everyone has an opportunity to make their peace, you know, inconceivable peace, you know, knowing that this world is falling apart before our eyes, still being at the age that I am, having intellectual capital to expense in this world, having children, you know, why would I want to leave? Why would I want to go to heaven? You know, but we must understand that we are more than just fathers and brothers and sons. You know, we have bigger roles. We are not of this world. This is a passage. And whether fortunate or unfortunate for some, we will see the return of Christ. It is us, our generation. And it's time. It's time. My prayers now are that his church, you know, we go out with a roar and not a whimper, you know. The proclamation of his return should be everywhere. You know, we shouldn't hold back. If you have conviction that God is real, that God, you know, can change lives, that God is necessary so that you can be free of iniquity, it should be proclaimed. And it's unfortunate, but I believe that, you know, the Church of America, the apostate church, is asleep because of the comforts that they've been allowed. And my desires are that in this last moment, one last roar, you know, to waken that church, to prepare for the return of Christ. But we can only do our part. Pray that, you know, God gives us mercy, that he allows us to wake before his return, before his rapture, before his removal of the saints. So I hope that this has been of some benefit. If just one single person received benefit from this, I rejoice. I thank you.